guys, my name is Loon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. It's been very fun to talk about the new moon in Cancer. And now we are ready to talk about the full moon that is going to be in Aquarius. And I put quotations because I thought it was going to be the full moon in Capricorn, okay? What I've realized and come to realize is how the moon actually shifts from one sign to another when it's in these like most notable, like say new moon, full moon, first quarter, last quarter, when they're in the most notable signs. What I've noticed is that the moon sometimes just hands off the torch to one sign and ends up bringing that energy into like a full moon or a new moon. So today I'm actually going to be talking about the moon in Capricorn and how it hands its torch off to the full moon in Aquarius. So if you like to have that discussion, then please keep on watching. And yeah, let's get into it. So this full moon will be on July 24th. However, we're already feeling the energy of the full moon like 2-3 days ahead of time, and we'll most likely feel it like 2-3 days after. However, what I've noticed personally is that the new moon and the full moon, they resonate all the way back to its own energy. It will last from this full moon to the next full moon as a reflection of like how I felt the last time. And the same thing with the new moon. I'm still keeping my new moon intentions all the way until I head back to the next new moon. So this full moon is actually going to be a super full moon. Super full moons, in my opinion, it just means that the energy will be amplified. The emotions will be really heightened. Like I know that around the full moon, the emotions are already pretty heightened, but the super full moon just brings it out. It really does. And honestly, it makes it look very pretty as well. So if you get a chance to see the moon on this full moon when it is in a super full moon, feel free to go outside, look at it, gasp at it, and it's just so beautiful. It means that the moon is bigger and closer to the moon, so we just really feel all the emotions that we may be going through. However, remember, if you want to check out the last video I made on the new moon in Cancer, we are holding our intentions of just holding space for our emotions, for allowing it to just happen, and holding grace and space for them as we experience going after what we need to go after, and whatever intentions that you set. The full moon also represents harvest time. It represents when you grow and plant a seed, and then now you're here at the fruit of that seed that has been planted, and it's ready to be picked from whatever tree that you decided to plant after all the hard work and gardening, trimming the leaves and cutting off dead ones and getting away all the pests that can eat up your fruit. You're able to finally harvest it. So this is also a time that no matter what is going on, no matter what roller coaster of emotions and of a ride that you're on, that we are here to say thank you for the nourishment that it brings. Thank you so much for allowing us to just have it. All of it is a blessing. So it's just here to say thank you, gratitude, say grace. We're going to start off by talking about the moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is the 9th sign of the zodiac. Therefore, the number 9 talks about reflection and the mirror self. So if you notice, if you ever add 9 to any number, it'll always add up to its own sign. Or if you multiply 9 by any number, it'll always multiply to the number. So for instance, 9 plus 8 is 17, and then 7 plus 1 is 8. So it always reflects back whatever number is being added. Or for instance, multiplication, 9 times 9 is 81, and that 8 plus 1 equals 9. So basically what that means is that the energy of Capricorn will always have the reflection of either who you want to be, what you want to be, but also know that it's your own energy being reflected back at you. So whether you're projecting out into the world, hey, this is what I want, this is what I need, and you're seeing it actually given back to you, or maybe you see someone else doing something that you feel as though you're called to do, resonate with doing, and you're like, dang, how do they do that? Like, how do they get to that position? So Capricorn is also represented by Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of responsibility and discipline. So if you're asking, dang, how did they get to that position in their life? Wow, I really want to be able to do that. I feel called to do that. Saturn and Capricorn is the best, modalities to get to where you need to be, because it's all about responsibility and discipline. You ask the question, how do they get there? And then you also ask, what do I need to do to embody getting there? Okay. So it's all about hard work and dedication, and just really going after what it is that you need to sacrifice in order to get to that version of yourself. And not even even though you see that in somebody else, know and remember that it's not them. You don't want to step into their life and be like, oh, I want to be them. Remember that this is you that you're just projecting out. So what is it that you want from that idea or idolization that you feel as though you want from yourself? And that's how you get towards it. That's how you realize and to pull on that willpower and get towards that goal. Now, speaking of willpower, the thing is that there could be very beautiful reflections of us, and that's so gorgeous and so beautiful. However, there is also parts of ourselves that we may not even realize or notice in our face. So Capricorn is represented also by the Devil card. So this is the Devil card in tarot. It is like a reflection of actually the Lover's card. So this is the Lover's card, and this is the Devil card. So like how I said, it's a reflection of one another, right? So there's two dualities and two aspects that we are pulling from in order to create a balance, okay? Because honestly, these can be two extremes of things. And so, however, they're a reflection of itself, the lack of love and the wholeness of love, right? And so what it represents is that the Devil card talks about these two beings. You can call them Adam and Eve, or just two people, two beings that are literally chained to this aspect of themselves that they don't want to admit to. And so they end up acting on this part of themselves that holds the truth. However, it's almost like the truth is being used against themselves because they choose not to own up to that truth or walk in their truth. So it's like these chains actually can come off. They can take them off once they realize, hey, this isn't like, I don't like this, and I don't like how I'm manifesting from this place that is not my truest self. And so in order to do that, they can take off the chains. However, sometimes we ignore our truest self and we operate from a place that that ends up being a projection of where we want to be or what we want to do. If we don't always know where we're pulling from, then we'll definitely find out. And let me just read a little bit of the Devil card too in my notes, so then I can really give a rounded point of view of it. The Devil card. The picture on the photo shows the devil mimicking the stance of the magician. So this Devil card actually mimics the magician, okay, because of the hand gestures. But I always saw it as the Lover's card, because don't it also mimic the Lover's card? Interesting. The devil represents an out of control ego. Rather than being a conduit like the magician, the devil tries to push his own will for power and gain, and self-destructs in the process. The man and woman allowing themselves to be chained shows a willfulness to the behavior. It can indicate obsessive love, uncontrolled drinking or drug use, or untreated illness. There are many ways we can destroy ourselves. Artists who rely on drugs or alcohol for their creative process often find themselves at the mercy of those substances. On a larger scale, the devil represents self-defeating behavior. We get stuck in our patterns and refuse to stop because it feels good. They end up gaining control, and stopping would mean relearning how to be creative, how to live soberly, and being around others who don't abuse. A lot of people don't take that choice, and they die as a consequence. Any type of obsessive behavior falls under the devil's influence. The devil can be a muse, but one that's hard to get control of. It does have creative power to break taboos and to reveal a darker side of life, to show the pleasures of transgression. It's necessary to have a bit for the creatives, or else there's no depth. It would be a little too fluffy. Therefore, knowing that what we act on and do, it's always a choice. Becoming aware of our own truth and of the choices that we make is very important as we come hand in hand with this temptation energy Capricorn is also about patterns and karma, cyclic behavior. Sometimes we don't realize that we're in a pattern until we come across it so many times and then recognize the outcome of it when we're in the midst of that pattern. And we're like, wait, this is going to continue if we don't do something differently. And in that aspect, we're able to choose something differently. So it's a reflection of knowing that, yes, we may want to be at the top of the mountain, like how the goat in Capricorn actually makes it to the top, but the work that it takes to actually get to the top. So yeah, it's the question of, are you willing to sacrifice the things that you need to sacrifice in order to get to where you want to go? And are you willing and ready to reveal aspects of yourself that you may not knew was there in order to continue on the journey of getting to your goals? So, which brings me to Aquarius. So Aquarius is represented by the Star card in tarot. So it comes after this Tower moment, this Tower card. After this Tower moment, after everything just goes up in flames and literally like breaks down, this foundation crumbles of the whole tower. No matter how big it was built, how long it took to build it, it really comes crumbling down. And the Star card reminds us of once everything is gone and fallen away and we're just left with whatever pieces of the foundation that we have built, it reminds us who we really are. When everything is gone, who are we? And so the Star card is like that essence of finding ourselves again. Because the Devil card, it can be very subtle. However, once it like slaps you in the face, who are you once you found out all the things that you just found out? Where do you stand now? What parts of you are you now embracing? Because that's all you are. That's like a part of your DNA now. Now that you recognize it, realize how much responsibility you have to take account for, and get to a place where you're understanding all parties involved. And then you're like, okay, now that all that's said and done, what have I learned? Who am I? What foundation did I build off of that maybe wasn't even the truth to begin with? So we end up letting go of a lot of old beliefs and old outdated systems, because we realize that that's not the truest and strongest foundation to build on. Truth is, okay? And sometimes we may envision ourselves being in a certain place or a certain time, and thinking of the image of what we project out, we end up thinking that, okay, we have to embody being this type of way in order to get there, when in actuality, that even falls and fumbles a lot too, because we're not even operating from where we are right here and right now to then get to that position or goal, etc. We're trying to project, okay, this is who I am. I'm gonna cover up this part of me and cover up that part of me in order to be this version of myself that isn't even operating from truth. So once that foundation is just crumbled and you're just left with just your truest and most purest essence, then that's when true direction comes from. It's like the North Star. That's where the truest of hope, when you're wishing on the star as well. If it crumbled after it's a supposedly strong foundation, then that just means that the foundation wasn't that strong to begin with. The Aquarius also brings a lot of freedom after we're able to break a lot of molds that we thought that's the way to actually get to where we need to be. But it also allows us to really just be more grounded in who we are right now. So when those towers come crumbling down, allow it to crumble, and then just allow it to be for a little bit before you even start building again, you know? Because there's a lot of things that you want to hold space for, your own emotions as everything was crumbling, just figuring out what to do next. And then once you're able to just really start fresh and really just feel like, okay, I'm getting more of a understanding, I'm able to be comfortable now to just decompress, then you're able to start from a clean slate almost, you know? So there's a lot of freedom when we start from our truest self and not from a projection of what we thought was our truest self. So that's the information of the moon in Capricorn and the full moon of Aquarius. And since we are on the full moon, we're able to just embrace it all. We're able to say thank you. Remember that. We're able to say thank you for it all. And no matter what type of roots they may be, whether we were intentionally in growing it or it came up out of nowhere, just say thank you. Thank you for the nourishment. And, you know, then we could figure out what to do with it. But yeah, gratitude, y'all. I love you guys, and I'll see you around the next new moon. This has been the Capricorn moon and the super full moon in Aquarius. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Gratitude. Peace out.